Hi, everybody. Happy Chanukah. So happy. Just want to remind everyone, get ready. When the menorah is lit, the light of Gan Eden is coming into the world for 8 days. And these lights are super powerful lights, bringing a lot of blessings. You know, when God created the world, there was such an abundance of holy light, but it was too radiant, too powerful. And so he hid it. But he allows the light to come back for 8 days during Hanukkah. And this lights are holy lights that help us in our life, taking away our darkness of our own animalistic side. This light actually helps us bring greater discipline in our life, coming from the word chinuch, lechanech, the discipline. These lights will help us, inspire us to bring greater discipline to our children, so they'll be inspired, affected by the lights. And of course, this is the power of this month that is given to us as a gift. This land, but especially the 8 days are when these lights come into our life. These lights help us go beyond our own limited intellect, empowering us to have greater intellectual capacity. The Rebbe Rashab, in one of his teachings, explained that the whole point of this major celebration, that the lights lasted for 8 days, and we'll go more into detail, we're going to learn another mimer, was not because of the war, that a few were able to conquer such a great and vast army. That should be more of a celebration, because that's really a bigger miracle. But this little oil that lasted 8 days is the main focus. And the Rebbe Rashab explained that this is a message to us today, that if we just use the little oil, the little intellectual capacity that we have been given, that our wisdom will grow and grow beyond natural order, beyond our wildest imagination of how we can go, our intellectual capacity. If we just put to use whatever little oil, whatever little chachma that we have. These were the messages over the years that we have shared together in this class. Just on one foot, a brief review. We know we shared also in previous classes that the month of Kislev is a time of miracles beyond miracles, that we have powers to accomplish things in an unnatural way, to succeed in the unconventional way, in a miraculous way. And this can last us all year long as we tap into it and pay attention to it this month, and especially the 8 days. And I pray one of the goals that I have set aside is tapping into this energy, into our day-to-day love of one another. And I'll explain. There was a Polish Rebbe, and he was crying because his daughter was not well, and the doctors were telling him that she wasn't going to make it. And so he just went into his room and cried and prayed and cried and begged and prayed. And all of a sudden the doctors came running in saying, a miracle, a miracle. She's going to survive. She's going to go back to her regular health. And all of a sudden, all the Hasidim started watching him, and he started even crying like more. So they didn't understand. Like, it's a time of joy. The doctor said, I mean, he wasn't like crying with joy. He was crying with bitterness. Like that it wasn't like what one would expect if you hear good news. So the Rebbe told them, the Polish Rebbe, when I heard the good news, it finally dawned on me how much I'm lacking in true Avas Yisrael. Because I don't think I've ever cried this way like I have cried for my own daughter. And he realized he had even work to attain an even greater level of Avas Yisrael. When I read that story, I almost froze. I was like, on the one hand, I mean, it's natural. It's in our blood. Like, it's our own. It's our children. Of course, we're human. We're not angels, right? We're not angels. But Tanya does teach us in chapter 32 that we have the power to love another Jew like we love ourselves. It's within our natural part of who we are, our soul. It's really there. So then I was thinking, okay, so we're not tzaddikim to be able to just, in an instant, feel as much for someone else as our own or ourselves. So until we really get there, force ourselves to some extent to do a little more than we have been regarding the tzedakah we do, the acts of kindness we do, our reaching out to people who are lonely, who don't have family, whatever it is. Like as if you were that person, in a situation. Or God forbid, even your own family member. And even you're not feeling it, at least push yourself a little to do it. Hashem hopefully will bless us. And this is with the light of Chanukah in getting ourselves to a point of a disciplined in this way, to warm our hearts, to fight the darkness of the other people's suffering in whatever small way that we can, and hopefully bigger and bigger. And move away from our own suffering. Big deal, okay? We have a lot of suffering. Let's make a big storm. Move away from ourselves. A little bit. Okay, we're human. Not asking for such a tall order, but just a little bit move away from our own suffering and look at someone else who is suffering a lot more. And by the way, that was always the recipe to healing that the Rebbe from Lubavitch would give people who were suffering depression, sadness, from real life situations. He would say, go and do something for someone less fortunate than you. And by doing that, it actually brings back the light even in a stronger way. It's like, I once was working with this autistic boy in Israel. He loved fire and light, and I was showing him because he had a new brother born to him, and before that, he was all of his mother's attention. And I was trying to teach him, and it was actually during the Chanukah time, and I put the candles up, and I remember it to this day. And I said, look at this light. And I said, look at this light. I'm going to light this candle. My light is staying just as strong and bright, even though I'm giving my light to another candle. And then I put another candle. And I showed I'm still able to be as much as a light to even another candle. And I said to him, your mother has a lot of light. She has a lot of love. And she's going to give you just as much to you, and she has the power to give to another. And I remember I said, now you put on a light. And you can also give your love to your brother and be a light to your brother. We have so much love. And it doesn't take away from our light. It stays the same, and even sometimes, when it goes, by giving over to another candle, it's like the light becomes stronger. And then I'm going to tell one more story before we get into the Maimon. And this touched me so much. and it's been touching a lot of lives. I heard that it was on Chabad.org recently. I actually heard it at a Farbrengen. True story of a woman who was in the Holocaust online. And, you know, it was a line to go to death. And these two goyim realized that they were going to her death, and they said, why don't we just now steal her coat? I'm sure she hid a lot of gems, not knowing that's where she's going to. So they struggled with her, they bingled her up, and they were able to get the coat. And they're tearing all the insides to see where did she hide the gems. And there were gems. Next thing you know, they feel still the coat is heavy. So they ripped the stem, the stream, the hem. And lo and behold, they found a baby sewed into the hem of the coat. So they take the baby, and they're kind of fighting for it. And one says, I don't have any children. Let me have it, and you take all the gems. So next thing you know, the girl gets raised as a goy. And she's very bright. She goes to college. She becomes a doctor. And the day her mother passed away, there was a knock on her door. Her mother's friend comes knocking on the door and telling her this. You are a Jew. She tells her the whole story and says, if you don't believe me, your mother has kept the bracelet that you were wearing when you were a baby with your name on it. So she goes to check her mother's things, and she does find the bracelet with her Hebrew name on it. I mean, she didn't know what was on there, but she happened to be walking by, you know, in a frenzy, in a shock, as she, you know, doesn't know what to do. And while she's walking, two Chabad Hasidim actually meet up with her, and she actually tells them her story and asks them what to do. And these two Bachurim said, let's write to the Rebbe, our Rebbe, and he will tell you what to do about it. So they write, and the answer she got back was to go to Israel. She moved to Israel, and over time she studied, she got married, she became a frum woman. And she happened to be with her family in a restaurant, and that restaurant, just as they were leaving, in a distance away, got blown up. Subaru restaurant, which I have to say, I used to weekly on a Tuesday meet with my sister there. And one day, my son was severely sick, and we were not able to go that day. And that was the day it got bombed. And it was the same time that I was normally meeting my sister in there. When I heard the story, it reminded me of that miracle day. And I remember feeling so frustrated that, once a week that we can meet and we can't meet. But then after, it was all clear to me. So she was a doctor. She said, go, my family, leave. I'm going to take care of you. Later, now I'm a doctor. I have to take care of the wounded. She went from place to place and helping. And in the interim, she meets this old man, hysterical, trying to find his granddaughter. And she takes care of him, saying, don't worry, I'll help you. I'm looking. They look together. They can't find. No. Finally, she says, he's probably, I'll go to the hospital. She probably was already taken to the hospital. So she looks and she goes around to see what she asks, like, how will I know to look for her? She says, he describes her and also says she has a bracelet in her hand with her name on it. Okay? So she actually finds the little girl with the bracelet. She contacts the grandfather, and they meet up, and the girl, Baruch Hashem, has a recovery. And as they're discussing the situation, the girl was shocked because she's looking at the bracelet, and it looks exactly like the bracelet she had. She asked him, where did you get this? The grandfather says, there will be nowhere in the world you can find it because I'm the goldsmith, and I made two. One for my daughter and that is a survivor of the Holocaust, and the other that passed away. So then she realized, this granddaughter of mine is now wearing my daughter. She realized this was her father. They embraced, and she was able to meet up with her father after all these years. I mean, this is the power of being Rebbe. This is the power of being guided by someone above you to help you to make the right step, to make the right move, and miraculous things come your way in your life by being that connected. The family, her father, her niece, her sister, after all those years. And I'm sure it was so dark for her for all those years, even when she felt like, like when she finally found out that she was a Jew and that she lost her whole family in an instant, in 1 minute. But after time, God gave it all back to her. So I bless you to go the extra mile as best as you can, helping your own family, bringing more love to them, appreciating them, that they're there, that you have them, whoever is in your life. There are people far away, relatives far away. We can only do so much. But then extend yourself to those who are nearby. And even though they're not your family, they are your family. They are your yid. They're your soul. Every part of everyone's soul is one soul. We're all one soul. We're all one light. So it could be we have challenges with this family member, and we wish we were closer. We wish they're, even if they passed away. We have family here. We can make the best of whatever is nearby us. We can give like they're our family. We can love them because they are our family. And the pain and whatever's missing from whatever's missing can be filled up. Okay, and maybe it doesn't feel right in the beginning. But push yourself a little bit. Okay, if it doesn't feel like your family, push yourself. Do it anyway. And you'll see many times they become even more than your family. You couldn't even imagine. I remember this autistic boy that I spend a lot of time. He came after school to my house every day because he would run home and want to come to my program. I had an after-school program. And so he would come even before the after-school program because I can't even tell you, there was a time period in my life that I was so sick and I didn't have any family in Israel. I made Aliyah. I lived in a place where I was all alone. But you know who became my family? The parents of this autistic child. She came and nursed me back. She came and made me juices and got me a book and took care of me like I was her daughter. I didn't think when I was helping this autistic boy, I didn't have any calculation. Oh, one day his mother's going to help me. That's what I'm doing. I mean, and it came back in such blessings, like beyond my wildest dream that I could get such blessings from just doing an act of kindness to someone in that way. This is the light of Chanukah, warming our hearts up to give us the extra power to be able to do what it takes to bring a little more light into someone else's life, even when we're in our own darkness at some period, off and on. And that actually helps us get away from our darkness. That actually really lights up our life. And now, Chanukah. The mimer is from a book called Holiday Ma'amarim, and this is from the Lubavitcher Rebbe, and has also commentary by the Tzemach Tzedek. And it's on page 140. We know that there's a discrepancy and different thoughts behind behind how we're supposed to light this menorah. And there's a lot of questions to this menorah. Well, one, in the time of the Beit HaMikdash, if we're going to really celebrate, the miracle of Chanukah, well, in the Beit HaMikdash there was 7 candles, not 8. They used to light the menorah before it got dark, and we light it after it gets dark. So it doesn't really make so much sense. And in fact, if you're going to say, well, because the oil lasted 8 days, some opinions have declared that, but there was enough for 1 day, so there was only really 7 days of a miracle. So if we're going to do, why light an 8-day menorah? Because it really was only 7 days of a miracle. Because there was enough for 1 full day. It's just that they made it last for 8 days. So, and also, why before dark? Did they do it in the time of the Beit HaMikdash? And we do it during the time of after dark. So the discrepancy in the one sage, Hillel, said, well, since it happened 8 days, let's add every day another light. But Shammai says it was such a big miracle, let's just perform the miracle that day and do all 8 and then diminish. Because also they do that in the Holy Temple when they had the korbanot during Sukkot. They would diminish the sacrifices. Right, there's a very difference. But we have, as we know, we follow Hillel. But Shammai had a point. Because Sukkot is 8 days, and they would diminish the sacrifices. So why don't we go make a flash? 8 days! Let's see the light! And then, diminish it day by day. Right. So the philosophy of Chabad is we always increase light. We don't diminish. We always add light to the world. And regarding the sacrifices, the reason why those bulls were sacrificed less and less, because it was symbolic of destroying the evil, animalistic nations of the world. Because each day we want less darkness. So we sacrifice that animal. Another animal sacrifice. Less wickedness, less evil in the world. But with light, we want to add and add and add light. Also, again, the emphasis on why before dark was it in the Beit HaMikdash? And why we, after dark, put it on. Well, we know in the Beit HaMikdash the purpose of the light was to bring out light. The actual windows were concave so that it wasn't a normal situation. Because normally we'd have the opposite windows so that the world can bring, the light can go out. But in our case, if we're doing it during the day in the Beit HaMikdash, it's all holy, it's all light. Because it was a time period of such revelation, and the Mikdash was up and running. Since the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash and the wickedness of exile and the torture of all that's going on in our physical history of the Jewish people, we have to light the dark. We have to wait until the dark. And lighting up the darkness represents exactly what those Goyim were trying to do. They weren't trying to destroy the Jewish body. They were trying to destroy the Torah's light. They tried to bring darkness upon the world. Steal away. Okay, keep your customs, fine. But no God, no light of the truth. Do it as a cultural, happy day kind of experience. But don't put your God in it. Don't put this Torah and philosophy of the Torah in it. They were trying to destroy the light. So by us lighting the candles after dark, it's symbolic of us making an effort to destroy the Goyish way of living, their philosophy, their ways of living, of vanities in their life. Also, regarding the 8 days, 7 is connected to the natural order of things. That's why Brit Milah is on the 8th day. So we're trying to bring light into a world like during the extraordinary way beyond nature. When Mashiach comes, there will be 8 lamps. When Mashiach comes, there's going to be an 8-part spring. 8 represents beyond the natural order. And that's what we're trying to do this Hanukkah. Instill within us, motivate ourselves to go beyond the natural order of living in this world. By making a change, by making a difference. There was a story. Recently I saw a movie, and it shook me to the core. I felt like I was like almost fainting after I watched it. It was a story of a modern day Maccabee. We remember Yehudis, what she did. The men were the Maccabees, but Yehudis went and risked her life to get that general into her hands and give him salty cheese. That's why we have a minhag, a custom of eating cheese on Hanukkah. And got him drunk because he was so thirsty, so she just had wine. And she actually, cut his head, and so that all the warriors would be afraid to see if a woman was able to conquer the commander, the Maccabees, yeah. And she really is in her book, her bravery, the Yehudis. No, during the prophet when the time of Sisera, there was a woman who put a peg into the camel. That was a different story. This is Yehudis who got saved the day by capturing the commander. So this woman actually was in Russia, and she was working underground to make fake passports. Her name was Mama Sarah, so that Yidden can leave Russia to be able to have a Jewish education because they were not able to go to Jewish day school. And she realized she has to do something to get her family out of the rest of the community as best as we can to leave Russia. And over the years, the KGB caught up to her, and her picture was plastered all around the city, wanted. And so she realized her life is in danger and that she now must make a fake passport for herself and leave. And that night, there was a knock on the door, as the night before she was meant to leave. And a woman came frantically. Can you imagine? First of all, she opened the door at risk because it could have been a KGB after her. But she opened the door thinking it might be some Jew that needed her help. And she didn't even know, really, even when this Jewish woman came in saying, "Oh, I need passports, I need passports." That could have been a giveaway of a KGB dressed up. And she said, "Oh, and it's such a special woman, please." And she just said to her, "Wow, wait a minute." She went into her, it could have been a KGB officer, but she went in because there might have been a chance that this was a Jew in need, and gave her own passport. The woman took out the picture, and it was Rebbe Simchana, the Rebbe's mother. She gave the passport, and her daughter was crying hysterically. How am I going to go tomorrow? What are you? She said, no, you're going to go. You're going to make it safe back to Eretz Yisrael. You're going to go. And guess what? She ended up hiding away, and her best friend said to her, I have a passport for you. You helped so many people. This is a true story. Believe it or not, as she's driving in the car, you'll never know, but you notice she's not going to the train station. She's going toward the KGB direction. And her best friend looked at her and then started. Her best friend had gotten her a passport, but she noticed like she wasn't going toward the train station. She was heading toward the KGB office. She looked at her friend, and her friend started like crying to her, explaining how sorry she was, but that they had captured her husband, and they also captured her son, and that they would return her son only if she would give the whereabouts of this woman. That's against halacha. Sure. You're not allowed to give a Jew for another Jew. And anyway, she was in prison, and she was so weakened, she ended up dying in prison. It's unbelievable. But here is a woman, a warrior, a modern-day Maccabee, to have saved so many Jews to go. And so did Hannah Semish also give up her life for the Jewish people, and many other women in the Jewish history. Baruch Hashem, we're not in war. Baruch Hashem, we're not under the KGB. Baruch Hashem, we don't have to fight the darkness like those generations. We have to just add light. We just have to do another mitzvah to make another person happy. We just have to add more light to give someone a little extra funds to get them child to yeshiva. We just have to do the good, easy, light work. They had mamish mysterious nefesh. Many times the Rebbe used to say, this generation, the way we can show mysterious nefesh to Hashem is to have mysterious nefesh of Ahavas Yisrael. We might not have $1 million to help everyone like we want financially. We might not have all the wherewithal to heal someone from their psychological pain. But trust me, being in touch with someone, inviting them, making a little extra effort to bring light into somebody's world, in the little way that you can, goes such a far way. Such a far way. Just recently, someone came to me crying, saying that her daughter was so not well. Catatonic. Years not getting out of her bed, not doing anything. She was in hospital. She couldn't help. No, nothing could help. And I'm not trying, please, to brag about what I did and what I did. I just come with a full heart of just showing you what a little effort to do mitzvahs for Hashem, and a little effort, a little light, and how much miracles happen. I just was visiting her weekly, telling her stories. She was not even looking, she was just repetitive movements on her body, and would not get out of bed, would not shower. It was really a serious situation. Week after week I would come visit, and every week I started really praying for her also, that Hashem give her refuah. And every week her mother would tell me, she's getting a little better. She's a little bit talking, a little moving. And then a week later, she's getting up. She's taking a shower. And I was just, in the beginning, I just didn't even, think she was listening to me. But I would tell her stories. I would just talk with her. I gave her my love. I prayed for her. Combination, of course, of everything. And now she's registering for college. She's volunteering. She's turned around. And just coming and visiting. She's a teenager. We have a lot of power to bring the light out into other people. And the first step is move away from your own darkness. Force yourself. Don't look into what's wrong or not right in your life. Look into what's missing in someone else's. Fill up their life. And by the way, that ends up filling up your life more than you can imagine. That really brings you such light, joy, and happiness. Because there's no, I tell people over and over again, as every time I so-called accomplished something, whether it was when I finished my master's degree, now I'll be happy. Right. No. When I finally finished those CDs, months and months and weeks and years, no. At the moment, even though it was something, an accomplishment, when you make someone else happy and you see you brought a smile to someone else, that's when you're the happiest. That's when you start to be free from the darkest sides of everything that's in your life, holding you down. There was Rav Baruch. He was in a snowstorm, and he was passed out. 2 elderly people found him, resuscitated him, and brought him back to life. And when he woke up out of his comatose, he couldn't believe how he's never experienced a vision of joy like these 2 elderly couple that were so happy that because of their efforts, he became resuscitated. And when the Hasidim asked him in his dying days, what do you realize brings man the most joy? And he brought this story over to them, saying, that was true joy, the most purest joy that I saw these 2 elderly couple experience when they brought me back to life. And he promoted and preached and all his life to just bring life to others. But that's pure joy. That's with you wherever you go and forever. And in the moments that you're going through a struggle, you remember and you recall that you brought joy to someone. It brings and lightens up your heart. It takes away the darkness at the moment. It helps you move away from your own situation and recall you have yet more to do to bring light unto others. So I bless you this Chanukah. When you see the flames, take upon yourself a vision of whenever you feel a little dark, move away from yourself and see where you can bring light to another person. Where you can do Misras Nefesh to prove your love for Hashem and go extra mile to change the world for the better from your act of kindness, from your help, and from your smile, and for you making a difference in someone else's life. And then remember, Chesed starts at home. Make your biggest effort to bring light to those closest around you as best you can. But teaching them by example, not just to focus on the light in your own home. Because you know the mitzvah of the Chanukah, in the halacha it says, if you only have enough oil to be able to either light your Shabbos candles or light a Chanukah, the rule of the halacha is you light your own Shabbos candles and not the Chanukah. And so the Rebbe teaches a symbolic meaning to this. If you don't have enough strength right now to be able to light up the world and light up your own home, then light up your home first. Because the Chanukah is lit on the outside. It's at the doorway. Shabbos candles represent you lighting up your own home, your own Dalet Amos, of the responsibilities that Hashem primarily brought you into the world. But if you have enough oil, you should and you must do both. Because the Rebbe actually said When there's a fire burning outside, everyone becomes firefighters. And women in this generation have even more power than the men to put out the fire. The evil fire, the depressed fire, the lonely fire of the world. That we, the women, lighting Shabbos candles, bringing out the light of our own homes, of every individual. That's why we light Shabbos candles, to bring out the light in every family member. Because we have the power to bring the light out. But we also have the power to be a Mama Sarah. We also have the power to be a Yehudis Hamakadus. We also have the power to be like Miriam HaNeviah, to bring light out into the world and to make a difference. And the Hanukkah light is our reminder. May we all be blessed with all the holy lights of Gan Eden, as we're looking into the lights to really have the vision of what we want to do for the world this year, better and brighter than last year. And remove ourselves from our own darkness. We will have even more light in our own lives. So let's take a vision. We'll close our eyes and we will see ourselves getting ready for the Chanukah menorah lighting. And we'll see our vision, the Maccabee in us. Mi la Hashem Elai. This is the soul power that we have to be partners with Hashem to bring light into the world. See yourself being a light to your family members, those that are nearby. See yourself being a light to your neighbors, being above their petty things, being a light unto those who are suffering. In whatever way you can, the small, little deeds really are big deeds. See yourself just so bright, so ignited to make a difference. To warm up the atmosphere of every place you enter. See yourself like an angel. You are an angel, sweet, loving, beautiful neshama. See the Chanukah constantly burning in your heart. You mamish taste the light of Gan Eden when you see the Chanukah. And see everyone around you melting away in a good way. Your light is melting their exterior coarse energy. Your smile, your softness, your patience is melting away the darkness. I hope to see you at all the parties. If you open your eyes, have more simcha. And hopefully I'm going to be here during Shabbos. We could, I'm going to be here. Yeah, B'ezrat Hashem. So we'll be together, hopefully during the meals or the kiddush, and also we'll be at the Hanukkah parties and Hanukkah. There's a ice skating party on Sunday. Tonight they're having a candle lighting menorah at the train station, and Monday is at the park. They have a party at the park Monday night. So let's celebrate. We are alive. No, I think we're staying. Yeah. Today's my birthday. Oh, Mazel Tov! Wow, Hanukkah baby, bring me your light. I'm waiting. Wow, Mazel Tov.
Everybody, long life, good health, everything you want from Master of Universe. Give it to all of you. And always have a smile on your face.
Baruch Hashem, you have a power to bless because on your birthday you have a.
Amen.
Wow, Mazel Tov. Really? 2 birthdays? Mazel Tov. We have to sing 2 times. Okay, I have to sing a happy birthday song. It always makes people laugh. Happy birthday. And to you too. Happy birthday. Wow. Everyone should say amen to this because there's a power in the Farbrengen when Jews get together and celebrate and learn together. Rain on Israel. Refuah Shlema for everyone. Sarah Bas Harvin should have a Refuah Shlema. And Rachel Bas Sarah should have also a Refuah Shlema. And Gabriel Ben Esther should have a Refuah Shlema. And Shalom Yitzchak Ben Miriam should have, Rachel Bas Hannah should have a Refuah Shlema. And Miriam Bas Esther should have a Refuah Shlema. And after everyone should have their shidduchim, their parnasa, and happiness. Beyond that, everyone's children should have children, and everything good. More, and we have the power this month to be able to bring beyond the natural order these blessings into our life. Absolutely, Mashiach. And the other thing is, I just put a proposal into the company GIA that they should give me their tax-deductible donations so that I could help needy families who need these health products. So please pray with me that they'll accept my proposal, and it should be like bringing more and more healing to people. And I got you. Wow, thank you. I have a gift for you. Oh, thank you, guys. Oh, okay. We should just hear more and more good news. My mom is home. I just have to say hello. I know. Also, she should be well. Can I just say something? My brother's friend is an Israeli guy, and right before the holiday started, like right after Thanksgiving, I made a huge Thanksgiving and invited loads of people and cooked up the storm. And my brother was helping me with the serving and everything. He even cooked something. And anyway, right after that, his friend went to this like invasive procedure, a pain management procedure, and it was like an invasive procedure in his spine. And right after, it was a 3.5-hour procedure at a doctor's office. And right after that, he became paralyzed from the waist down. Wait a minute. And he's in Lutheran Hospital in Brooklyn because that's where the doctor was affiliated. And the doctors saw him, and they said that Baruch Hashem, B'ezrat Hashem, that there's a good possibility that it may take weeks, months, or years, but that he should get mobility back. And he started already to have like a little mobility that he's able to
move the left leg a little bit, like a paraplegic.
Oh, yeah.
And he's in his 50s, and my brother and his friend are devastated. They live in Queens, River Park. Well, anyway, I'm just saying this because, you talked about the miracle of Chanukah, and I went right away to the Ohel, and I gave Sadak and said prayers and prayed with a lot of Kavana for him. Also for Liat Raphael about the situation's not good. So I davened a lot for, the two of them. And I'm just praying that, this Hanukkah is going to be like a Mexico miracle for the sick, the righteous sick people, that they should be healed and helped and cured and restored. So, I'd like to just dedicate this class to the healing of Shimon Ben Rina and Liat Raphael Bat Sahaba, that they should come out of their dire straits and be able to be joyful and dance and be happy and healthy, and everyone should be well.
Amen. All right, keep shining, especially during Chanukah. By smiling.
Be happy no matter what.
Amen.
Beautiful bracha.
Beautiful brachas. Ad B'Yisai. Many brachas. Ad B'Yisai.
They wanted me to say something. I said, you put the wood in my mouth. I put it in my mouth.
Amen. Oh, by the way, I did I forgot to mention, I did a children's program for Chanukah yesterday. I do programs and we record it, so if you want me to I'll give you the number. Yeah. I have it not here. When I get home, I'll read it. Yeah. Okay. Oh, thank you. So much wig. No, it's a different wig. It's just when I didn't want to wear my nice wig. No, I didn't. No. It's just a wig. Whenever I wear a different wig, it shows.
I'm sorry I came late, but I have to go. My mom has to go.
All right.
So, I love you more. Bye-bye.
It's so cute. Oh, almost a black out. Okay. Well, look how many people came. Wait, now we have 7 Baruch Hashem. With me is 8. Baruch Hashem, 8 candles.